Welcome back to Passionate About Tech. What if I told you that you could run a full Android 17 system with the Play Store directly on your Windows 11 PC, with no dual boot, no reinstalling Windows, and no sketchy third-party emulators? Yeah, you heard that right. A complete, clean Android experience running like an app window right on your desktop. And the best part? We're doing this using Android Studio, which is Google's own official development tool. So this is not some random workaround. This is as official and as safe as it gets. Ready? Let's get into it. Now, one honest thing I need to mention, this setup is resource heavy. It uses your PC's RAM, CPU, and storage while running. If your computer is on the lower end, you may experience some slowness. But if you have a mid-range or better system, you should be absolutely fine. And don't worry, I'll show you exactly how to configure the settings to get the best performance out of your specific machine. All right, let's get things moving. Open your browser and go to Google. In the search bar, type Android Studio and hit Enter. You will see the official Android Studio website at the very top of the results. Click on it. Once the page loads, you will find a big download button for the latest version. As of right now, the version we want is called Panda 4. Go ahead and click that download button. A dialog box will appear asking you to accept the license terms. Read through it, check the box to accept, and the download will begin automatically. Depending on your internet speed, this may take a few minutes since the installer file is fairly large, so just let it run in the background. Once the download is complete, locate the installer file in your Downloads folder and open it. The installation process is very straightforward. Just follow the on-screen prompts and use the default settings throughout. Do not change anything unless you know exactly what you are doing. Keep clicking Next until the installation finishes. At the very end, you will see an option that says Launch Android Studio. Make sure that checkbox is ticked, then click Finish. Android Studio will open automatically. Section 3. Setting up Android Studio for the first time. Android Studio is now open for the very first time. The first screen you see will be a setup wizard. Go ahead and click Next. It will then ask you to choose a setup type. You want to select Standard. This option automatically configures everything you need without any manual tweaking. After that, Android Studio will show you a list of components that need to be downloaded, things like the SDK tools and emulator files. These are required for Android to actually run on your PC, so do not skip this part. Accept the license terms and click Finish to let it proceed. Android Studio will now start downloading all the necessary files in the background. This part can take a while depending on your internet connection. Just leave it running and be patient. Once everything is downloaded and installed, click Finish one more time. Section 4. Creating your Android virtual device. Now comes the exciting part, actually creating our Android device. On the Android Studio main screen, look for a button that says More Actions and click on it. From the drop-down menu, select Virtual Device Manager. This is where you create and manage all your virtual Android devices. Once it opens, click Create Virtual Device. You will now see a list of device categories: phone, tablet, TV, and more. For the best experience on a PC, I highly recommend selecting Tablet. It gives you a much larger screen that feels more natural to use with a mouse and keyboard. Go ahead and select the Pixel Tablet option and click Next. Now you will see a list of available Android versions. This is where you select Android 17. Important, make sure you choose the version that includes Google Play Store support. If it is not already downloaded, click the download icon next to it and wait for it to finish. Once downloaded, select it and click Next. Section 5. Configuring the settings for your PC. Okay, this is the step that makes or breaks the whole experience, so pay close attention. We need to configure the performance settings to match your computer's hardware. First up, RAM allocation. Now, the golden rule here is to assign roughly half of your total system RAM to the virtual device. My PC has 16 gigabytes of RAM installed, so I'm going to allocate 8 gigabytes, that's 8,192 megabytes, to Android. This gives Android enough memory to run smoothly while still leaving the other 8 gigabytes for Windows to do its thing in the background. Do not allocate more than half. Trust me, your whole system will slow to a crawl if you do. Next, CPU core allocation. My processor is the Intel Core i7-13650HX. A safe and smart allocation here is 6 cores for Android. Again, do not assign all your cores to Android. Balance is everything here. Now, storage size. I recommend setting the virtual storage to around 64 gigabytes. That is more than enough space to install apps, games, and keep things running smoothly without eating into your Windows storage too aggressively. Finally, 2 last settings to check. Make sure the boot option is set to Quick Boot so that Android starts up fast after the very first launch. And set the orientation to Landscape for a much better viewing experience on your PC monitor. Once everything is configured, click Finish. Section 6. Launching and using Android 17. Head back to the Virtual Device Manager. You will now see your Android 17 Pixel tablet device listed there. Next to it, you will see a Play button. Go ahead and click it to launch Android for the very first time. The first boot will take a little longer than usual. Android is loading all its system files from scratch. This is completely normal, so just be patient and let it finish. After this first boot, every subsequent launch will be much faster thanks to the Quick Boot setting we enabled. Once it loads up, you will see a full, beautiful Android interface right there on your Windows desktop, just like a real tablet. You can resize the window to whatever size feels comfortable for you. Too big? Shrink it. Too small? Stretch it out. Totally up to you. Now go ahead and complete the basic Android setup. Open the Play Store, sign in with your Google account, and you are ready to install any app you want, exactly like on a real Android device. You will already find Google's core apps pre-installed like Chrome, Gmail, and YouTube. The interface is smooth, clean, and completely ad-free. For general use, browsing the web, watching videos, social media, productivity apps, performance is very solid, especially on a machine with 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 13th generation i7 processor. Now, I want to be honest with you about gaming. Simple games and casual click-based games will run just fine, but heavy graphics-intensive games or games that require precise controller and keyboard mapping may not perform perfectly, because this is not a dedicated gaming emulator. Mouse clicks simulate touch inputs, which works great for most things but has its limits. So think of this setup as your go-to solution for app testing, productivity, running Android apps on a second screen, or just exploring Android 17 rather than a hardcore gaming rig. And that is how you run a full Android 17 system with the Play Store directly on your Windows 11 PC. No dual boot, no risky tools, nothing sketchy. Just Google's own official software configured the right way for your machine. I'll see you in the next one.